Hey everyone, welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour. I'm Joe.
And I'm Serena.
And we are here today with Jess, but before we let her in, we have a full new season of Bachelor in Paradise, and it's a completely different show.
It's wild. We're so excited to be back. It's been a while. Obviously, we had a long break between The Bachelor and now Bachelor in Paradise, and we have had a whole year off Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah, it's nice to have something to talk about again.
This is obviously the show that Joe and I met on, so we're so excited to watch and recap because it holds a special place in our hearts, but it feels so different this season. I actually am in shock, and we shouldn't be because we had Wells, Hannah Brown, Jesse all come on and tell us that it was a new show, and they weren't kidding. I mean, it really feels like a new show.
Yeah, I loved it though, and I really like the cast. I think they really put together a good cast this year.
I agree.
I think that's regardless of what they do with the cameras and the setting. I'm a little sad not seeing it in Mexico, but
yeah, those pink striped pillows,
yeah,
I'll miss them. The day beds, I'll miss them.
But I do think the cast is the most vital part of the show, and I like this cast a lot. I think they're good.
I agree, and I think at its core, it's still Bachelor in Paradise, same format, obviously with just some new elements. We have, a game element coming in, some surprises to come.
I'm jealous of the cash.
Yeah, well, we don't know what's happening with the cash yet, so don't be jealous yet.
Yeah. I will say we'll do things a little different on this podcast as well because we're going to try to get as many interviews and timely interviews as we can, so we may not do a recap every week, more interview style, and just talk to the guest about what went down in the episode.
Yeah, this week we have Jess Edwards, who's about to join us, as well as Lexi Young, who I feel like we're kind of very big parts of this first episode, so we have a lot to talk to them about.
Oh yeah, both of them. I would say, I forgot how long this episode was because there's a whole lot with Lexi as well.
Yeah, we're opening with a 3-hour premiere, and I just feel like a lot to digest. Like, I'm so excited to see all the newness, but I feel like I got to get used to it as well because it's new location, it's better cameras, everyone looks amazing. It's like a different format a little bit. Like, there's so much to take in. So Joe and I are excited for the season. We're excited to hear what you guys think about the season, and we can't wait to start this interview.
We are here today with Jess Edwards. Jess, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me.
This is your first time on, right? You weren't on at all during Joey's season.
No, you guys, why was I not on the first time?
I don't know. That's a great question.
You were involved in the Maria drama of that season, correct?
Was. Yeah.
You had a lot going on. I feel like we were like, let's just let her be. She's got a lot going on.
Honestly, I needed it. After that, I needed a good detox from everything, to be honest.
Yes. Sometimes some space and time is good. And now you're back and we have that much more to talk about.
I'm so excited. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do a little catch up because I will say, watching the first season, the first episode of Paradise, we don't really get a little background. So, where do you live? Yeah, where do you live? What do you do? And you are from Joey's season.
Yes. Okay. So I am from a super small town in East Tennessee. So if you hear an accent, that's where it comes from. But I currently live in San Diego. I love it here. I work remote. I work for a disaster consulting firm. I've been there for 4 years. It's so cool because I get to travel, but also just stay in my pajamas all day.
What's a disaster consulting firm?
Okay, so everyone always asks that.
I'm going to guess that you come in after a natural disaster and consult.
Yes, that's exactly what we do. Yep.
Yeah.
Good deductive reasoning.
Thank you.
That's exactly what we do. You hit it spot on.
Okay. So East Tennessee, you live in San Diego. Was that before Joey's season that you moved to San Diego?
Yes. I actually had only lived here for, let's see, when was Joey's season? It feels like 10 million years ago.
It really does.
Yeah.
But it was
2 years ago.
Okay, yeah. So I actually had only been in San Diego for 4 months whenever I left for Joey's season. So I had just gotten here, really fresh city, didn't know many people. I moved with a couple friends. So it was crazy to move and then leave. And then I'm not going to lie, I was at home because I was scared to go in public.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was a little terrified.
Why?
I don't think I was prepared for all the online things that go into this. I feel like you have a good idea, but until you're actually thrown into this world and experience everything, um, you just have to live and you learn. So I was a little nervous just because all the online hate got a little bad. Um, so I took some time to just be at home.
Chill out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you have any negative in-person interactions?
I didn't. That's what's crazy is like every person that I've ever met in real life, they're like, oh my God, we loved you. We thought you were hilarious, like all these things. And it did feel good that people saw past, some of the drama that I was in and maybe my little too emotional moments that I had. And I think that it did help once I started getting out in the real world and meeting people and saying like, okay, it's not just the crazies that are behind their phone screens.
Pre going into Paradise, who are you friends with from this franchise? Who are you hanging out with? You and Kat are friends, right?
We are, but we're more recent friends because she lives in San Diego. We have a lot of the same friends, and we actually ran into each other right before we left for Paradise. And I'm like, wait, I heard maybe you were going. And she was like, wait, I heard you were maybe going. So I'm not going to lie, she's going to laugh when she sees this. But I didn't think she liked me the first time we met because we were like in a big group. I was kind of like late to the party. I was like, just super outgoing, bubbly. And she's like, hey. I was like, okay, I'm going to walk away now. I don't know if she likes me or not. But then I met her at a baseball game and we hit it off. And then we obviously grew closer on Paradise. It was like, wait, I know you. I know you.
That's going to be a good feeling too, just coming in and being like, okay, like there's some familiar
for
faces
sure.
here.
Yeah, absolutely. But from my season, I'm really close with Leia. Love that girl. She is the only reason I survived. And then I'm really close with Lexi as well. Daisy, love that girl so much. Those are probably the main girls I talk to the most.
Nice.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I was going to say, so you get the call about potentially going. What was going through your mind? Obviously, you had probably like mixed emotions about your experience on Joey's season. Where were your head at?
Yeah. Honestly, initially I was like, oh my God, yay. But then I kind of had to reel my excitement in a little bit and be like, all right, do you actually want to go through all of this again? Like, is it going to be worth it? And I think I kind of just like made a pros and cons list and I was like, this could happen or this could happen. So what's more important to you? And honestly, you guys are an inspiration. I feel like there's so many love stories that come out of Paradise. I had a lot more hope going into it, whereas, there was 32 girls for one guy on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's going to be more guys to choose from. Hopefully I'm going to know some of the girls there. So it's like I have friends, more of a support system instead of going into it not knowing anyone. First go round, no experience in reality TV. So I think at first I was excited, then I got nervous, and then I was like, wait, no, I should do this.
Yeah, you were definitely doing it. Like just like watching you at Joey's season. I just would be like, yeah, you were someone that was like, you were gonna get casted on Paradise. Like I knew that you were gonna get casted. And
were you surprised though when they asked you at all?
Honestly, a little bit, because I will say this is my first podcast. Like I wasn't really asked to do much after, which, whatever, it's fine. But I was like, maybe that was my one and done. Maybe they're like, you know what? We thought she had potential, but let's push her to the side.
Get rid of her.
Cut her.
Send her back to East Tennessee.
Yeah, get her out of here. She's not cut out for this.
So in the conversations leading up to you going to Paradise, were you made aware that it was going to be a new Paradise, new location, lots of changes?
At first they didn't really tell us much. I think they were letting us like kind of get excited about it, and then they would start dropping hints like, well, it's actually not going to be in Mexico this time. And we're like, well, wait, what? And so closer to time of leaving, we got a little bit more information and I was pumped. I was like, you know what? I'm ready. I feel like it needed a little revamp and it was amazing. When I walked in and saw that resort, I was like, we got swim up pools outside of our room. Apparently, AC was like a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big
Yeah.
deal.
And I didn't know that was such a luxury, but apparently it is.
I mean,
So
I
I was
had
really excited for
my bed was essentially outside. It was like on a porch outside.
It was like a
with
single.
and
too.
every night before I would get in there, it would be like 4 a.m. on no sleep, and then I'd have to wipe off the bugs that had landed on my bed, and like that is
No.
There was one
Yeah.
night Abigail
Yeah.
and I shared a bed and we went to sleep and we were in a big bed that we shared, but it was in front of this like I don't even know, like a patio essentially. We had like a walkout deck that was fully open and it was raining and it was windy and I was like, I'm getting wet. The rain is
No, I would
hitting
die.
me.
I would die. There was a crab in my room one day. I'm not kidding, you guys.
there was crabs in our
There was crabs
there was
in the
crabs in our
shower, in the
showers.
It was
Like,
sink.
huge, though.
Yeah.
It was huge. I was like, there was a fly that had flown in, and I will never forget this. I was standing on the bed, and I had a towel, and I'm like whacking this thing. So I jump off the bed, and I'm getting a paper towel to get the dead fly off of the floor. And as I go down, I just hear like clicking. And I just see something coming at me out of the corner of my eye. And it was a crab, literally this big. It was huge, and its little pinchers were coming at me. I screamed. I was like, all right, I need someone in here now because I'm not sleeping with this thing.
yeah, we
That's
lived
hilarious.
with those and all over our
They were your
our
friends.
bathrooms. Yeah,
They
but there
were
was I
homies,
will
yeah.
say that's one thing that like there was a campiness, and I would say like we kind of all bonded over the fact that we were living in a
Yeah,
Treehouse
it
Survivor
felt like
style.
adult summer camp.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
bit more because we had like a girls
could
wing
see
and a
that.
boys wing. So like,
Yeah.
whereas this feels more like very resort forward.
Bachelor
Yeah.
and Resort. That should be the
Bachelor.
name.
It
in
was
resort.
amazing. It was amazing. And Kat, she was like, this is next level. I mean, she was like, this is night and day. You guys don't understand how lucky you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, because her and Justin would have been the only two
Yeah.
at this point that had been there before. That
Yeah.
were- yeah.
Yeah, out of the whole cast. Yeah.
They would be able to kind of compare and contrast.
Okay, so going into Paradise now, you've agreed to go. What guys are on your radar, if any?
Yeah, I think I didn't watch all of Jen's season, but I watched the majority of it, and I figured a lot of the guys would probably be from her season. So right off the bat, going into it, I was like, I really hope Spencer's there because he is adorable, and he just seemed like such a good guy, there for the right reasons. We love to say that around here. He just seemed like he had a good head on his shoulders, like he wanted a serious relationship, and obviously he's hot. So I'm like, yeah, I would love to see that guy. I also was like, Sam's cute. You know, I had a bad edit. He had a bad edit. Maybe there's more to him. So he was on my list, but I literally like, I will never forget when I saw Spencer on Jen's season, and I was like, oh yeah, I really hope that there's Paradise, and I really hope that he's not with Jen because I want to meet him.
Wow, you have
Okay.
a good picker, obviously, because you guys kind of hit it off right away. Like your instincts were right.
Yeah, we did. When I walked in, I was so nervous. And I remember I walk in and, first I'm just like, oh my God, nice to meet you. Then I asked who got there first. He was the first person that arrived at Paradise. And I'm like, oh, perfect opportunity. The wheels are turning. I'm like, you want to give me a tour?
Yeah, that was good. That's a good move.
Yeah. Yeah. So he shows me around and then we had a little chat and it went so good. Honestly, talking to him kind of relieved my nerves because he is just so outgoing. He made me feel so comfortable. I felt like we just really hit it off. I don't know. It was weird. But at first I was like, maybe, I don't know if there's anything there. Like maybe it's just going to be friend vibes, but I'm really going to try. So we'll see.
I feel like he typically would have been a shocking choice to be the first one down. I was going to say the first one down on the beach, but I guess the first one
To the pool.
to the pool.
To the pool.
because I feel like it's typically like, a runner-up or, someone who had like a really, really big storyline in their season.
Yeah.
But I actually feel like he was a great pick to be the first one down there because he's such a yapper and he just had the ability to kind of walk around and like chat to himself for like.
Yeah, you said when
so
we were watching
excited,
it, you said that. I didn't think anything of him being the first one.
Really?
No.
I guess if I was like betting on it, I would have expected
out of that cast,
like maybe like Kat because she's kind of like a returner.
She's a returning.
Adele or
Kat,
Justin, like someone that was returning, or like a Jonathan or a Jeremy, someone from like one of the most recent seasons who went like past hometowns, like made it. Yeah. But no, I thought he was great.
I feel like his personality wasn't shown a lot either on Jen's season. Like you didn't really get to see who he was. So that was another thing. Talking to him like 5 minutes into the conversation, I'm like, okay, wait, he's cute and he has personality. This is perfect.
He has such a personality.
Yeah.
Anyone else on that first day that you were talking to that maybe we didn't see?
I had a good conversation with Jonathan on day one, but it was just, I knew right off the bat, I was like, this is just a friend vibe. But I also had met him before. I'd met him twice, I think, before. So I kind of already knew it was probably just going to be friend vibes. But I was like, you know what? We're here. Like, I'm going to have a conversation with everyone. And it was really good. But yeah, no, I was like, it was day one. It was just Spencer. I was like, yeah, no.
Who down there had kind of like met? You know how there's always people like, you're like, oh yeah, I've met Jonathan in passing.
Knows everyone.
Like this person knows this person. Like, was there someone down there that it's like, oh yeah, this person kind of like knew everyone? Or was it feeling like a lot of you guys were meeting for the first time?
I do feel like, because I didn't meet any of the girls from Grant season prior. I don't think, no. I hadn't met anyone. The only person when I walked in that I knew was Lexi, girl-wise. And then I had met Jeremy and Jonathan. But everyone else, I mean, I think obviously the boys that were on the season together, they obviously all knew each other. But none of them had met many people either. I felt like it was nice because we were all just like getting to know each other.
Yeah, I think that's nice too. Did you ask anyone for advice before you went down to the... What are we calling this? I can't say
just
down to the beach. Can I just say
the beach?
Down to the beach.
Just say the beach.
No, I wanted to I did ask Kat a little bit. I'm like, girl, like you went through it on your season. She dated a lot and then ended up getting engaged. So like, honestly, this is the perfect person to talk to. And she was like, you know what? I am going into this completely open-minded. I want to have a new experience. So she gave me some good advice, but she was like, I think that, this is going to be a whole new show. It's a new location. I think that we go into it and we just have not too many expectations and figure it out when we get there.
Yeah.
Like, all right, girl, let's do it.
What are you guys, did you guys know about the games before you went? Like that you guys are going to be partaking in like games?
No clue.
So when that gets introduced, like Jesse kind of like, he doesn't really come out and say it, but he kind of like hints towards you guys will be doing something, right? Doesn't he?
Yeah. Wait, I wrote down the exact quote because
he said, I think it was like a compatibility test or something.
He said, at the end, we will be offering the best and strongest couples a life-changing opportunity. And that's kind of all they say about the potential.
So when he throws that out there,
what
are you guys thinking? Because I would probably just think like, oh, like if you wind up together, maybe they're going to send you to Italy or something.
That's exactly what I thought.
100%. The minute I hear like life-changing opportunity from Bachelor, I'm like, all right, so who's getting the next free Greece trip?
Yeah.
Like, who's next on like the free vacay list? Yeah. But yeah, he comes in and you were there for the challenge, right? Or the game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They called it an informational activity. I thought that was such a wild choice for a name.
Yeah. Really, really strange choice of words there, Jesse.
So scientific.
Informational activity.
Yeah. Here's your first informational activity.
We're all just like, I'm sorry, what?
So how did that go?
It honestly was so fun. We walk out and there's all these silhouettes of us, obviously. And it's so funny too because they were life size, you guys. They were like our exact heights. So obviously, like I hit it off with Spencer day one, and we had these stickers that we had to put hearts on who we liked what was on their silhouette or whatever. And of course, I see the tallest one there, and I'm like, that one's getting a heart, like 100%.
You're
I
like, I
did
don't even
like
need to
everything
read
that was
this.
on it too, but I knew right off the bat which one was his because he's ginormous.
Is he talking to anyone at this point? Like, is he like bouncing around a little bit?
Yeah, he was talking to everyone. Yeah, I think, I was really only, I think I talked to everyone, but I was really only actually interested in Spencer. And he was talking to some of the other girls. Like, I remember like seeing him talking to Kat, and I was like, damn, this sucks. But it's okay, because there's going to be a lot of this.
Yeah.
I just need to walk away.
Yeah.
So we do see you kind of end up in like a bit of a love triangle because Sam M comes in on his motorcycle.
Oh, wait. But before Sam M comes in, though, Dale Moss comes in. Because Dale's a later drop. What was the vibe when he comes? Because what we see is kind of like finally like a man's here. Like Dale shows up on a yacht.
All the girls were pumped when
Really?
Dale started walking towards us. We all were like, wait, who is that? Who is that? And then I think it was either Kat or Zoe. They're like, oh, that's Dale Moss. And
Did you know who he was?
No way. Yes. Who? I mean, come on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. But he's not really my type. So I'm like, I'll talk to him, but I don't know. And also, I'm 26 and he's like 36. I'm like, he probably is not going to want to talk to me anyways, but I'll talk to everyone. So we'll see what happens. But everyone was so excited seeing him walk in. The girls were like, oh, here we go. This is paradise.
Yeah. It got a little
it seemed that
serious
way.
and competitive for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think I talked to him the day he got in. I was like, I'm going to let them.
Yeah.
They can do that.
Yeah.
Well, so far, like what, like you and Spencer, like right now, I'd be like, okay, you guys are going about this in a smart way because you're both into each other and you're really like
you're pursuing each other.
You're
like
going
you both seem to be like putting in a little work, seeing where it could go. Okay, so Sam M comes in. What are you thinking?
Oh my God. You guys, I'm not even kidding. I'm like, the two guys I was interested in right off the bat, they literally were like, here's your silver platter, Jess. I'm like, whoa, this is going to be a much better experience for me this time.
And they're both into you. Yeah, they're both into you. And these are the guys that you like. Yeah.
I'm like, wait, and they're both interested in me, little old me. This is crazy.
You're like, we've done a serious 180 from The Bachelor here.
Oh, 180, 360. Literally all the numbers.
Yeah. Flipped you upside down, threw you to a new country.
Yeah. No, I was super excited. I think him walking in, like, everyone was like, oh, I think he's going to take Jess. And I was like, why does everyone think that? Right off the bat, everyone was saying, oh, he's definitely going to take you.
Really?
Like,
why?
I do not know.
Was he like looking at you a lot or something? Like what was the sign?
I mean, I didn't notice it.
I think they would assume that just because like you're both from like the South. So, and I think that was
maybe just thinking like you seem like you'd be his type.
Yeah, that's what I think too. But everyone kept saying that, and I'm like, no, like I don't know. But then he did. I think he pulled me first for a chat, so we talked, and I kind of was getting the vibe after the first conversation. So I'm like, we're going to do this the right way. I don't want to make anyone upset. So I immediately pulled Spencer. I'm like, want to go for a little walk on the beach? And he's like, yeah. He already knew what's coming. And honestly, it was good though. I think that it was like, okay, I want to see how he reacts to this because it's, 2 days in. If he's like, heck no, you're not going on that date, then that's kind of like, red flag.
Big red flag. Like,
yeah.
That would have been.
It was a good test to like see what his reaction was going to be, see how he handled it. And I remember I was like, so I don't know if he will, but he might take me. How would you feel about that? And the first thing he said, he was like, well, I want someone who chooses me. And I go, oh shit. Like, I remember in my head, I'm like, oh, this is not going to go well. And then he was like, but it's day 2. I think you should go. That's what we came here to do. And he's just like the sweetest guy ever.
He said that. I want someone that chooses me. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It was at first, I'm like, oh God. Oh,
You're like, where is this going?
Yeah. Where is this going? Yeah. But then it was like, oh, you should 100% go. We're day 2 in. Like, we are completely different people. So you need to see what you like. You should go. If he asks you, he's like, I think he definitely is. No questions asked. He's going to ask you. And I'm like, okay, all right, well, we'll see. And then obviously he ends up asking me. And it was actually, I say he asked me, but he actually didn't even ask me, which was interesting.
Oh,
So he's
So
just
how'd it
like,
go
hey,
down?
Jess, come here, and kind of like summons me over. And I'm like, okay. We start walking, and then we're getting farther and farther away from the group. And I'm like, wait, so what are we doing right now? He's like, oh, we're going on a date. And I was like, oh, right now. Got it.
That's
Like,
great.
I didn't even know that he was officially
that
asking
doesn't
me.
translate in the episode.
Yeah, no.
It
That's so
doesn't.
no,
No.
that's
Oh
so
my
funny
God.
that's how it went down.
Yeah, that's how it went down. It was so funny. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm in first one-on-one. I was pumped.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even care what we're doing. I just am finally getting to go on a date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you never had a one-on-one date, did you?
No, I got extra time after a group date when we were in Spain on Joey's
Okay.
season, but I never got a one-on-one with him. So I was like, hell yeah, let's go.
And what did you think of the date? Like activity-wise, connection-wise? It
I'm
was an
so
interesting
excited.
activity.
I'm like, leave it to me to get the shaman.
There's always one of
Leave it to
them.
me. Yeah, leave it to me to get the shaman date. No, it was fun. It was interesting. It was a little weird. Also, it was like I had a 10-minute conversation with this man 2 hours ago, and now we're in the middle of the Costa Rican jungle in a shack with shaman. So it was interesting. And we kind of had to like deep dive into our past right off the bat. And I could tell that he was, I don't think he was nervous, but he was definitely just like a little more reserved. And I'm very outgoing and I'm like, da, 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 da. So it was interesting trying to like get him out of his shell, especially comparing him to talking to
Spencer?
Spencer and spending all my time with Spencer day one. They're so different. Their personalities are very different. Spencer is very outgoing and bubbly, and Sam's more like, I'm gonna be chill and I'm gonna be laid back and I'm gonna sit here and do this activity, you know? So I feel like I did a good job bringing him out of his shell and just like, we're doing this. Let's write down our trauma on this paper and throw it into the fire.
If this was a date, if this was a first date in the outside world,
No,
you wouldn't have followed up with him? Like, you think you go on a second date?
Activity aside, just
Yeah, take away the
connection.
activity aside.
Take
Yeah.
away the activity. Do
Oh.
you, like, Spencer's not there. You connect with Sam. You meet him at a bar, and then you guys go out for a first date. And after this date, would you have seen him again?
I don't know.
You guys
Honestly,
are very
but
different.
we're very different. Our personalities are very different. So nothing against him. He's so nice. And I just think that when I'm in the real world going on dates and I'm looking for someone, I want someone that's like matching my vibe, matching my energy. And he definitely is just a lot more reserved than what I usually go for. So honestly, probably not.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need someone a little more like upbeat and extrovert. And I feel like he needs
100%.
someone more like mellow and like a little more his
100%.
chill vibe.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And then you didn't necessarily get the greatest at it, but Sam was basically the villain of his season.
Yeah.
Until like the finale, but was still the villain and did get a lot of hate.
Yeah.
Is there a part of you that was hesitant to even really want to get to know him because of that? Because like,
No,
Do you-
honestly, no, because the last thing I wanted to do was judge anyone because I also didn't have that great of an edit. Like you said, like, let's elephant in the room here. It wasn't
yeah,
awesome.
but because you didn't have that, is there a part of you that's like, fuck, do I want to really double down here and have two bad edits rolling out of this thing?
That's a great point. But no, I didn't even think of that really.
Okay.
I think that I was like, I didn't want to judge anyone because like, obviously I know me and I know what America saw. And I'm like, that's just not me. Like there's so much more to me. So the last thing I wanted to do was do that to someone else.
Yeah.
So I think I was like, you know what? I'm going to get to know him. He's an attractive guy. Let's see if I like his personality. And he has a great personality. He's just not who I go for. that's just not that's all there is to it, really.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe that you're being honest right now.
Yeah, totally.
Well, some people say shit, and I'm like, I think you're lying, but I think you're telling the
Joe's
truth.
over there. I'm clocking you.
I think you're telling the truth.
I do love that Paradise does act as a fresh start for so many people, and obviously
for
it's
sure.
sometimes hard to not have those past edits in the back of your mind, but like I feel like you very quickly get to know the person for who they are in front of you, and like that's a great chance for
100%.
everyone to have a second chance.
I think that was like my biggest fear going into it. It was like, oh God, people are gonna judge me. They're gonna think she's insane. She's just wants to be in the drama, whatever the case, like whatever judgments people had. That was my biggest fear. I was like, I just hope that people give me a chance.
Yeah. How was the conversation then after the date with Spencer? And was it, I'm assuming the way you're talking now, it seems like it was kind of an easy choice.
Yeah, I think in the moment I was like, oh my God, like I was freaking out. I was a little nervous. Like, oh, I don't want to upset anyone, but like maybe I should have conversations. Like I didn't want it to be like, oh, well, thanks for the date, but bye. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a conversation with him tomorrow. And then we had conversations, but I was like, yeah, no, the entire time I was thinking about Spencer. I was like, I couldn't wait, honestly, to get back and be like, it was fun, but I missed you.
Yeah, you guys just had that instant connection.
Yeah, it like makes me cheat. I'm like, calm down, girl.
So it was a little less love triangle-y than maybe it seemed. Like it was, you had the two guys after you, but you weren't dealing with like a lot of internal conflict about what to do.
No, it's so funny because even like that night, I remember I was feeling like a little bit torn after the date. And then I was laying in bed that night and I was like, no, there's just no comparison. I was like, no comparison.
Who in your mind now, I would say like, whatever, before the rose ceremony, who's the strongest couple do you think right now in the house, if there is one?
Or a few.
Ooh.
I mean, because from a viewer's standpoint, from watching it, I would say it's you and Spencer.
And then like maybe Bailey and Jeremy.
Yeah, honestly, that's exactly what I think too. Not to toot my own horn, but yeah, I think that me and Spencer definitely, we just hit it off the bat. And like, one of the girls even asked me, they were like, did you guys know each other before? And I was like, no, we followed each other on Instagram and that's it. Like I had never met him in person.
No DMs?
Nothing. Hey.
Okay.
I 100% slid up on a few stories and I was like, your dog's cute.
Okay, but no, like we're not conversing. We're just like a few cutie replies here and there.
Yeah.
Trickling in a little interest.
100%. And like I never asked if he was going because I wanted to be shocked. I wanted to be surprised whenever I walked in and I was like, oh, okay, this person's here. So I didn't want to ask, but yeah, I remember one of the girls, they were like, wait, so did you guys know each other before? Because it's kind of giving you did. And I'm like, whoa,
who said that?
Don't spread that rumor. I do not need rumors spread this early.
Who said that?
I think it was Zoe maybe that asked me that or made that comment. And it was funny. I was like, no, please keep your thoughts to yourself because I don't need rumors spreading this early.
Yeah. It seemed like there was 3 love triangles in this first episode, or like love triangle-ish. Was you, Spencer and Sam, Bailey, Kyle, and Jeremy, which again, kind of ish of a love triangle because it seemed pretty obvious Bailey and Jeremy had a really good thing going. And then Alex, Jonathan, and Ricky. Where did that love triangle stand?
Yeah, because there's a lot, not to cut you off before you answer the question, but Jonathan definitely comes across on this episode of like, I'm not really trying.
That was the only love triangle where I was like, I actually don't know who Alex is going to give her rose to. But did you guys feel like you were confused or it was obvious?
Honestly, this sounds so bad, but I really didn't pay attention that much to what other people were doing.
That's fair.
No, that's fair. Lie. There's so much going on.
Yeah. I don't know. I do think like day of rose ceremony, we all kind of knew we're like, Alex is going to give it to Jonathan, right? Like there's no, I don't think there was a question there. Bailey, though, I feel like a little bit up in the air, but I kind of could see that she was leaning more towards Jeremy.
Okay, interesting. Any other surprises at the rose ceremony?
I think.
Here, I can give you
I
a
mean,
little.
Hakeem goes home. He has a hard time. You do
Yeah,
kind of feel
well,
bad for him because he,
Hakeem,
and he
I
was also the first guy that got,
Announced.
and
announced.
everything.
Yeah.
I know that actually broke my heart. Seeing Hakeem go week one, first rose ceremony. I love him so much. He is just like a ball of energy, like brings light into every room he walks into. Literally love that guy. And it broke my heart to see him leave so early on. And I think he was really trying with Bailey, but she was already kind of like you said in a little bit of a triangle. And I think like just adding someone else to the mix, she just
Wasn't going to
couldn't.
happen.
She couldn't give her attention to that many people
Yeah,
at
we
once.
saw a quick conversation between the two of them where he was like definitely putting himself out there.
Yeah.
And the vibe from her was just giving like she was not
Yeah.
receiving it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really sad to see him go. And also Kyle. I loved Kyle. Like he was so sweet. I didn't know who he was when I walked in. I was like, "This guy good." And he's like, what did he say? He's like, I'm Cowboy Kyle or something from Katie's season. And we're all like, okay. And I was so sad to see him go too. I feel like he's such a good guy. And it was really sad. And Bailey was super emotional having to choose. Like I felt for her a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens though, you know.
First
Everyone
rose
can
ceremony
stay.
is always hard because you're just like, oh, like you feel bad for the people that get sent home. They got so little time, and you always kind of wonder, like, had they stayed another week, like, would someone have come in and they would have had this amazing connection? But it's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. Yep. It's how
Okay,
the cookie crumbles.
So I have a question. What happens when you guys are done? You're done filming. You go into your hotel room. Is that how it works? You go into your room.
Yeah, we get to go. Yeah, we go into our hotel room and we have room service, and
You have room service.
it's amazing. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we had
Wait,
room service.
Not during the fucking season.
Yeah, we had our like the counter that you'd go up and order food at, but you could also get like it in takeout boxes.
I guess that's true. Who was your roommate?
Lexi. Lexi was my roommate.
Okay.
I was so pumped to have her. I was like, thank God.
Did you get to choose? Or
Yeah, I
no?
was just gonna ask.
We didn't get to choose, but we're like, they kind of put two and two together.
Okay, they tried to pair
could see-
people up.
Yeah, they could see who was like the closest and who was like more friendly with each other.
So you and Lexi were obviously friends, and that's so nice that you guys got to share a room together. Who on the cast felt like they were not friendly with each other?
Hated each other.
I don't know if there's no one. Honestly, I was so shocked that all the girls got along pretty well. I mean, yeah. Unless I'm just oblivious and missed it all. Like,
Well,
maybe I
you'll
was just focused on
be
this
shocked. I'm
6'5"
sure.
man.
I'm sure you'll be shocked though when you watch it back. That
Really?
well, not in this episode, at least. I don't think
Yeah.
so. But like, I'm sure like during the season, you'll be like, oh, I didn't realize she said that. You know,
Ooh,
like that
yeah.
that's gonna happen. I would
I'm
think.
probably gonna get my feelings hurt too.
Yeah, you'll get over it. It'll be all right. Okay,
You'll get over it. It's fine.
you'll be fine. Before we let you go, we see the super tease. A lot's going on. You see a lot of people upset. Seems like Dale gets into it with Hot Sean.
I totally
You
forgot
guys are
about
in for
that.
a treat.
But I think I think the biggest, the biggest thing that we see that differs from any season of Paradise is there's a big bag of cash. You can't really spoil anything, but what could you tell us?
Let's see. How can I word this? You definitely get to see what people's true intentions are.
Okay.
Okay. I
Yeah.
love
I like that.
that. Our theory is obviously that it kind of ties in with this opportunity that Jesse's teasing, but I feel like so much newness unfolded in this episode. And there's still so much to come with the Goldens coming
There
in.
is so much. Like
with-
you guys, I am so excited for you to see it all unfold. It's so good.
What would you
So
have done?
good.
Pardon?
Well, what would you have done if at the end it was saying yes to my engagement or yes to $500,000.
I think we both know what I would have done. I would have been like, I'll take the money and then we'll split it on the DL.
No, you can't. If we got caught doing that, we go to jail.
Jail.
Well, then I'll take the ring,
the
you know?
NDA.
Jess, thank
Jail
you so
time.
much. Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. And
Oh,
I'm
thank
sure
you
we'll
guys
see
for
you
having
again.
me. This was so fun.
This was so fun, and I'm sure we will see you again soon.
And to
Yeah.
all our listeners, thank you guys for tuning in to Bachelor Happy Hour. Make sure you download and subscribe to the podcast.
Thank you so much for listening. Continue to tune in to new episodes of Bachelor in Paradise every single week, as well as new exclusive interviews on Bachelor Happy Hour. Thanks for listening. Bye.